कि इमिग्रेशन लॉ के हवाले से आज पहला प्रोग्राम जो है आपकी खिदमत में पेश किया जाएगा और जिस के लिए हमारे मेहमान जो हैं ये ब्रेडफोर्ड से तशरीफ आए हैं शाहिद हुसैन सॉलिसिटर जो कि खान सॉलिसिटर्स के साथ पिछले 21 सालों से काम कर रहे हैं और इमिग्रेशन के हवाले से माहिर हैं आज इन्हीं से बातचीत होगी सबसे पहले हम खुशामदीद कहते हैं Shahid Hussain, welcome to Iman FM Radio.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for coming. Obviously, coming from Bradford is to Sheffield is not easy, but it's your job and you are everywhere, mashallah.
Well, we are most enthusiastic about serving the community.
Yeah, mashallah. We have an office of Khan Solicitors in Aberdeen Road. Which is obviously also serving the community locally, and the main head office is from Bradford. Okay, we are going to talk about immigration law today and what is the law says if anybody want to come over from abroad, and what is the law, give the information and just give some information which is for everybody to understand.
Okay, thank you very much. What I wanted to do today really was give everybody a background about immigration law, the rules, the institutions that they might encounter. Obviously, we have a substantial number of your listeners that come from a wide variety of backgrounds, ethnic heritages and nationalities.
Yeah.
And many people at some point or another encounter immigration law in some way or another. This would be an opportunity for me to help facilitate that process that they have to go through. Sometimes it's to do with coming over here as a spouse. Sometimes it's about bringing visitors over from different countries, whether that's Somalia, whether it's Yemen or Pakistan, Bangladesh, India,
True.
Afghanistan. In some shape or form, people are encountering immigration rules and regulations, and hopefully we can shed some light to make it easier for them to take a best approach to achieve the results that they want to achieve.
Yeah, that's very good. I hope the information you're going to provide is benefit everybody. It's going to be information going to be journal. It's not specific to somebody who's actually seeking a visa or something.
Well, yeah, it is general advice.
Yeah,
we would always advise people to take their individual cases to a legal professional who's qualified to give them specific advice. Everybody's cases differ, and there's a lot of variation in each case, which might be within the same category, but the details and such can vary to such a degree that the advice needs to be tailored. So what we're doing here is just providing some general context to immigration processes and institutions, and maybe pass on some information about definitions and things. So if somebody gets a letter through from the Home Office, they might be able to decipher it a lot better after having listened to what we've got to say today.
Yeah, that's very nice to having information which is benefit to everyone, particularly those people who are seeking immigration to UK. So this will be very beneficial to everyone. If you have any question, you can call us on 01142425 or you can text us on WhatsApp 0788559986 either, or you can email us on info@imanfm.com. info@imanfm.com. You can email, and then we'll make sure that your question will be answered next week. So we'll carry on with Shahid Hussain.
Yeah. Right, thank you very much. Well, as a starting point, it's really important to understand how immigration law works and who it applies to. Immigration law is obviously a discussion around who can enter the UK. Each different country has its own defined borders, and those borders are managed by the government, and there are restrictions in place as to the movement of people and even objects that are coming in and out of the country. And when it comes to British immigration law, our starting point really tends to be the Immigration Act 1971, and in particular Section 1 of that.
Sure.
It makes a distinction between two groups of people. The first category of people are those that have a right of abode in the UK, and what that essentially means is that a person who has that category of right of abode, they're allowed to live in the UK, and they're also allowed to come and go from the UK without any let and hindrance from the border agents, right? So they can leave the country, come back, and there is no reason for them to be prevented from re-entering the UK as long as they can demonstrate that they have that right. The officers at the border force wouldn't stop them. Our concern is with the second category of people, which is those who do not have a right of abode. People that don't have a right of abode, this is defined in the second part of the Section 1 of the Act, are those that require permission to enter the UK, and therefore they're the ones that need to fulfill the requirements of the immigration law in order to gain entry into the country. And so if yourself or one of your family members or friends fall into the second category of not having the right to abode, you will need to be concerned about meeting the requirements of immigration law in order to gain entry or re-entry into the UK.
True, very, very much true. And of course, there is a law for everybody, and we have to follow the law and make sure that you fulfill the information the required, which is very, very much important, because every individual have a different case, and their information is also different. So what's the next step they have to...
Okay, so we need to separate that into three parts, right?
Okay.
The first person that's going to take into consideration the immigration rules and law is the person who is intending to travel to the UK, doesn't have a right of abode, but has the intention of coming into the country. That individual needs what's known as entry clearance, and people often refer to that as a visa. So in actual fact, before they intend to come into the UK, they need to approach the British embassy or the British High Commission in their respective country and gain what's known as entry clearance or visa, and that's usually visible once it's been granted as a certificate notice inside of their passport. Once they've gained that entry clearance, if they've been assessed and the entry clearance officers believe that they fall within the category of a person who's eligible to travel to the UK, they have to meet the next hurdle, which is the second part that people need to be interested in when coming to the UK, and that is to actually gain leave to enter the UK. So before they travel, they need a visa. Once they arrive at a particular port, that could be any given airport, or it could be a seaport. Once they arrive there, they're going to be met with border enforcement, who will then assess the entry clearance that they've been given and make a judgment at that point as to whether they're going to give them permission or leave to enter the UK. The third category of people that are interested and concerned with immigration rules and meeting immigration rules are those people that have been given entry clearance, they've been given leave to enter the UK, they're in the UK, and the time that they've been allocated to remain in the UK is coming to an end, or it's come to an end, and they therefore require an extension because they want to remain in the UK. So that's a third category, an extension of original time. So let me summarize that for you. Entry clearance requires a person to understand and comply with immigration rules. Leave to enter requires a person to comply with immigration rules, and if that person subsequently wants to extend the original time that they were granted, they then need to re-examine immigration rules in order to meet their requirements to stay for a longer period of time.
Sure. That's the criteria. Basically, somebody who will be granted a visa, and then they have to proceed another information, and there is a length of time, isn't it, for somebody who granted visa, and then they have a period of time for indefinite application.
Well, that's right. Different visas, depending on the type of category they are, usually stipulate a time restriction on them, and you will notice that from the certificate itself that's pasted into the passport in most cases.
Yeah.
And if you have been given that, you need to pay careful attention to it, because if you overrun the time, then in effect you are actually illegally in the country, and then you would have to make provisions to formalise your stay in the country. It does go against you if you overstay. That's why it's important to keep an eye on the time that you've been allocated, and if you feel that you need to extend the time that you originally granted, then you need to make provisions, speak to a immigration specialist who can advise you on the routes that you might have available to you to extend that original time.
Yeah, that's a very important message from Shahid Hussain, solicitor, that when you are applying for something, for future indefinite, and then you make sure that you have a proper solicitor. Don't do it yourself. Don't do it by any third party, but make sure you have a proper solicitor who knows the immigration law. So that's most important. But as Shahid Hussain is telling us that there is a categories of these visas and the immigration law. So what was the next, inshallah?
Well, we can also subdivide the people who have immigration rules, apply them into three categories, which might assist people in understanding what category they fall into.
Yeah.
The three categories include, firstly, people who are classified as visa nationals. Second category are those that are classified as non-visa nationals, and the third category are those people that are referred to as settled persons. Now, these three are not classified as having a right of abode, which we spoke about right from the beginning, and so as a consequence of not falling into the category of having a right of abode, all three of them require immigration rules to be met in order for them to enter, remain, and re-enter the UK. Now, let me just explain the differences between the three. The first category I've said to you is visa nationals. Now, I said earlier that the first stage would be to gain entry clearance, which is permission to come to the UK, and have that assessed by the British High Commission or the British Embassy. These are the vast number of countries in the world fall into the category of visa national countries. So these are individuals that are travelling from particular countries listed in an appendix in the immigration rules. They require entry clearance. They have to go to the British High Commission or the British Embassy and ask permission for entry clearance. These include the countries which many of the people from our community belong to: Afghanistan, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan. These are national countries. They need to have entry clearance granted before they can come and arrive at a port or an airport. And many people are used to doing that. They're used to getting the visa from the British High Commission or the British Embassy before they set off. Now, there are another category of foreign nationals who don't actually need entry clearance for the vast majority of the time. They are known as non-visa nationals. They have a separate list allocated to them. It includes countries like the United States of America that they don't require entry clearance for a stay of up to 6 months. So what that means is that they can come to any port in the UK, for example, an airport or a seaport, and arrive here without having obtained entry clearance. And as long as their stay is for no more than 6 months, they don't have the need to apply for entry clearance. However, they still require leave to enter. So although they might arrive from one of these non-visa national countries, once they arrive in the UK, they will still be assessed by a border enforcement agent, and a decision will need to be made if they are allowed to have leave to enter the UK. The third person is what we call a settled person. So it's a person who has the right to remain in the UK but doesn't have the right to abode in the UK, and they may have made a decision to leave the country to go visit another country or whatever. When they return back, they will still need to be given leave to enter the UK. Now, if you are helping somebody, a relative or a friend or whoever, come to the UK, then you need to have a look at which country they come from and whether they fall into visa national or non-visa nationals. We've had people who have contacted us with family members wanting to come to the UK from, say, the United States of America, and in their case, they can skip the part where entry clearance is required for somebody, say, coming from Pakistan or India. So if you are interested in trying to assist somebody who's a friend or family to come and visit you, then have a look at that list, and then you can decide whether they need to take that additional step to come to the UK.
That's very nice of you, Shahid. सामीन मोहतरम, इस वक्त हम ब्रेक की तरफ जा रहे हैं. ब्रेक से पहले मैं आपको बताता चलूं कि हमारे बहुत सारे देखने और सुनने वाले जो हैं, ईमान एफएम रेडियो के ज़रिए बहुत सारे लोग सुन रहे हैं, लेकिन ईमान टीवी ऑनलाइन के ज़रिए देख भी रहे हैं. और उनमें आसमा खान हैं, कादिर चौधरी हैं, फैज़ान साजिद हैं, और मोहम्मद शफाकत साहब हैं. मोहम्मद शफाकत साहब कहते हैं, वेल डन टीम ईमान एफएम, थैंक यू वेरी मच शफाकत साहब. और आसमा कहती हैं कि वाओ, फाइनली यू गॉट ए इमिग्रेशन लॉयर. दैट्स एंड शी आल्सो सेड गुड, कीप इट अप. थैंक यू वेरी मच आसमा एंड मोहम्मद शफाकत साहब, आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. ब्रेक पे जाने के ब्रेक पे हम जाएंगे थोड़ी देर में, लेकिन जब वापस आएंगे तो फिर हम आपको जितनी भी गुफ्तगू शाहिद साहब ने की है उसको उर्दू में हम करेंगे, यानी अपनी ज़ुबान में करेंगे. ये कर लें कि उर्दू या पंजाबी जो भी ज़ुबान है उसमें हम आपको इसकी ब्रीफिंग देंगे, और हमें उम्मीद है कि आपको पसंद आएगी. और अगर कोई सवाल भी आप पूछना चाहें तो आप ज़रूर पूछ सकते हैं. नंबर है 01142425 और व्हाट्सएप के ज़रिए भी आप सवाल भेज सकते हैं 078855998786. और अगर आपका कोई लेंथी सवाल है तो उसके लिए आप ईमेल कर सकते हैं हमें info@imanfm.com info@imanfm.com. इस पे आप अपनी तरफ से कोई ईमेल भेज सकते हैं, और किसी किस्म का भी इमिग्रेशन के हवाले से सवाल हो तो वो आप पूछ सकते हैं. मिलते हैं ब्रेक के बाद.
Your voice, your choice. You are listening to Radio Iman on 103.1 FM.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम मेरे बहनों और भाइयों, मैं आपके लिए खूबसूरत प्रोग्राम लेकर आती हूं जिसका नाम है अकीदत के फूल विद शाहिद रसूल. आप सुनते हैं हर मंडे को 11:30 से 1:30 बजे तक सिर्फ ईमान एफएम पर.
In a world where accident claims are poorly managed and the referral fees paid are so low, and just when all hope is lost in the city of Sheffield, a hero emerges. A hero so powerful, one phone number is all you need. A hero named Mr. Compensator. For your referral fee of £2,000, call Mr. Compensator now on 0114 3863 386. Terms and conditions apply.
ओ दोस्ता बनी ठणी तक किथे तैयारियां नी
मैं जुलियनो जुमेरा
ओ दुबई जा रहे
नहीं जुमेरा स्पाइस रेस्टोरेंट
उथे क्या खास है
1976 दी देसी रवायती खाने जेड़े पाकिस्तान ने जाने माने शेफ बनाने ने खाई दा वतनी याद अच्छा है लैम चाप्स चिकन बोटी लिवर टिक्का चिकन काबली मेन डिशां विच देसी स्टाइल हाउस स्पेशल कढ़ाइयां ते बाल्टी डिशां अच्छी तरह खाओ या डिलीवरी करो
जुमेरा स्पाइस रेस्टोरेंट 1 The Common Actresfield Sheffield S35 9WJ 01142 467 238
मैं जा रही हूँ द बाजार में
For a great happy shopping day, visit the bazaar. You will love the new bazaar.
जहाँ पर हर तरह के नए फैशन अच्छी कीमतों के साथ खुले हैं
Visit the bazaar at Syme Street, BD1 3RB, former Rawson Market.
Open every Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Also every Wednesday at Leeds Kirkgate Market.
The Bazaar, जहां आपको हर किस्म की चीज मिल सकती है.
The bazaar. Ooh yeah.
नाम मेरा नूरिन लतीफ है और पहचान कश्मीर ऑर्फन्स रिलीफ ट्रस्ट कोट मीरपुर है 2005 के होलनाक ज़लज़ले ने सब रिश्ते और सहारे छीन लिए फिर जिंदगी ने हर सवाल का जवाब पाया कोट से
कोट एजुकेशनल कॉम्प्लेक्स जड़ीकस मीरपुर के फेज 2 में हॉस्टल्स की तामीर जारी है आपका ताउन और सरपरस्ती की जरूरत है कश्मीर ऑर्फन्स रिलीफ ट्रस्ट 0300 123 774 kote.org.uk
Your voice matters for your community. Here at Eman FM, we're looking for presenters. Would you like to step into the media industry? Are you interested in being a radio presenter? Can you talk about local issues? Do you want to serve your community? If the answer is yes, then contact Eman Media now on 0114 242 0551 or email info@emanfm.com.
ओ दोस्ता ओ मेरी स्पीडिंग टिकट है मैं क्या करूं
तू खान सोलिसिटर्स की कॉल कर उना कोल स्पेशल टीम ही जेडी रोड ट्रैफिक केसेस रेड लाइटां नो इंश्योरेंस तो किनी के इमिग्रेशन फ्रॉड मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग पर्सनल इंजरी क्लेम्स सिविल लिटिगेशन तक कत्ल दे केस भी हल करने ने ते जे तुसा समझो कि पुलिस तुसे नाल कोई ज्यादती कीती है ते ओ कंपनसेशन भी दुआने ने ओ खान चढ़ा माड़ी जान
Khan Solicitors 351 Abbeydale Road Sheffield 0114 258 3399
Iman FM. This is Iman FM.
You are listening Iman FM 103.1 FM.
अस्सलामु अलैकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू वो खान छड़ा माड़ी जान हुण ਅਸੀਂ बोलांगे अपनी ज़बान और अपनी ज़बान ने ज़रिए तुसां की वो सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन जेडी पहला इंग्लिश विच शाहिद हुसैन सोलिसिटर जो है जिनका तल्लुक़ खान सोलिसिटर से है उन्होंने दी है तो अब उसको अपनी ज़बान में आसान लफ्ज़ों में आपको बताया जाएगा इस वक्त मेहरबान खान साहब वो कह रहे हैं अस्सलाम वालेकुम रेडियो ईमान टीम मेहरबान खान वो सलाम कह रहे हैं जी तो बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया मेहरबान खान साहब और एक और अनाउंसमेंट है वी आर अपग्रेडिंग आवर सिस्टम सो our Iman TV online link is temporarily down but you can watch us on Iman FM Facebook page and Iman TV online YouTube channel so you can watch us on Iman FM Facebook and Iman TV online YouTube channel so until we get this upgraded system installed then it will be become normal inshallah जनाब शाहिद साहब अब अपनी ज़बान विच तुसी ये दसो कि इमिग्रेशन ना मकसद क्या है और इमिग्रेशन क्यों जो है ना पूरी दुनिया पे राइज है और इसने ज़रिए लोग जड़े ना एक मुल्क से दूसरे मुल्क जदों जाने ते उन्हां ते के रूल्स और रेगुलेशन आयद होने
अच्छा हर जड़ा मुल्क है ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਮਿਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਸਕਨੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਹਰ ਮੁਲਕ ਇੱਕ ਮਕਾਨ ਦੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੈ
ਜੀ
ਤਾਂ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹਰ ਮਕਾਨ ਨਾ ਫਰੰਟ ਡੋਰ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਉਸकी ਚਾਬੀ ਲੱਗੀ ਹੈ
ਜੀ
ਤੇ ਜਿਸ ਬੰਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਕਾਨ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਮਾਲਕ ਹੈ
ਜੀ
ਉਸਨੇ ਕੋਈ ਅਸੂਲ ਹੋਣੇ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਮਾਲਕ ਨੇ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ ਬਗੈਰ ਬੰਦਾ ਅੰਦਰ ਦਾਖਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਣਾ
ਸਹੀ ਗੱਲ
ਤੇ ਇਸਨੇ ਮਿਸਾਲ ਕੀ ਅਸਾਂ ਜੇ ਮੁਲਕ ਨੇ कानूनी ज़रिए से अप्लाई करा तो फिर अस की थोड़ा मसा समझ लगना कि हर मुल्क ना इमिग्रेशन कानून किया है
जी जी सही
उसना मकसद ही है कि वो कंट्रोल करना चाहने केड़े बंदे दाखिल होने ते केड़े बंदे निकलने केड़े सामान अंदर आना ते केड़ा सामान बाहर जाना है
सही
ते उसने मुताबिक जड़ा फाइनेंशियल बजट होना है उसकी कम से कम बैलेंस कर सकने
ठीक
क्योंकि हर बंदे ने इकोनॉमिक इनपुट ता आउटपुट होनी है
जी जी
जड़ी इंग्लिश कानून जड़ी है सब तो जड़ा अव्वल कानून इस मतलब है मौजू के समझने ने कोशिश करने हैं तो इस कानून की मतलब है स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट इस्तेमाल करने हैं और इमिग्रेशन एक्ट 1971 है
जी
तो उसना पहला सेक्शन 1 जड़ा है वो दो किस्म ने शख्स की डेफिनेशन देना है एक है जिस बंदे की इजाज़त है इस मुल्क में रहना
जी
उस मुल्क की आना जाना उसना कोई पाबंदी नहीं है मतलब है उसकी कानून डिस्क्रिप्शन देना उसकी ये हक है उसकी हकूक उस हक की इसके आने राइट ऑफ अबोर्ड
राइट
इसना मतलब है कि वो बंदा इस मुल्क तो बाहर जा सकना वापस भी आ सकना ते जड़ी गवर्नमेंट है उसकी कोई रुकावट नहीं कर सकनी
ठीक
उसने पर कोई रूल्स नहीं अप्लाई कर सकने उसकी कोई रिस्ट्रिक्शन नहीं कर सकने जिले वो कोई एयरपोर्ट विच आना है या कोई सी पोर्ट विच आना है ते वो सिर्फ साबित कराए कि ए मिकी ए हक है राइट ऑफ अबोर्ड
ठीक है
जेरे बॉर्डर एजेंट है उन्हां पर फिर मतलब है उन्हां पर लाजमी है कि उसकी इजाज़त अंदर दाखिल होने की देनी चाहिए है ठीक है ना दुआ जरा कैटेगरी ऑफ पर्सन है उसकी विदाउट राइट ऑफ अबोर्ड है उसकी इजाज़त नहीं है अंदर जाना ते निकलना ते री एंट्री करना उसने वास्ते कोई इजाज़त नहीं है
अच्छा
ते फिर जड़ा कानून है उस शख्स पर रिस्ट्रिक्शंस प्लेस करना है कि तुसें की ए रिस्ट्रिक्शंस तुसें पर अंदर आना ते जाना ते इन्ना रूल्स की फुलफिल करने के बिना तुसां अंदर दाखिल हो सकने ठीक है ना दोज आर द पीपल विदाउट राइट ऑफ अबोर्ड ठीक है ना ए फिर तुसां की ए समझ लगनी है लगनी चाहिए है कि ए दो किस्म ने शख्स हैं जे तुसी कुछ कि बुलाना चाहते हो पाकिस्तान तो या किसी और मुल्क तो यूजुअली यह केस है कि उस बंदे की राइट ऑफ अबोर्ड नहीं है
अच्छा ठीक है
इसना मतलब है कि फिर उसने पर जड़े असूलन जड़े रिक्वायरमेंट्स इमिग्रेशन रूल्स उसने पर अप्लाई होने
जी
जिले उसने पर अप्लाई होने उन्हें की 3 किस्म ने कैटेगरीज अप्लाई होने पहला एक गल है कि उसकी आने तो पहले उसकी वीज़ा नहीं एप्लीकेशन डालनी पड़नी है हर बंदे की पता है कि वीज़ा क्या है ठीक है ना पर जड़ा करेक्ट डेफिनेशन इस्तेमाल करने जड़े रूल बुक्स विच है उसकी आही ना एंट्री क्लियरेंस
ठीक है
मिसाल के तौर जड़ा कोई बंदा पाकिस्तान है तो उसकी नीयत है यूके अचना उसकी फिर ब्रिटिश हाई कमीशन या ब्रिटिश एम्बेसी जाना पैना हाज़री करनी पैनी है तो उत्थे इजाज़त मंगनी है
जी
एंट्री क्लियरेंस वास्ते
बिल्कुल सही
एंट्री क्लियरेंस मिल जानी है तो फिर वो जड़ा स्टैंप लगाने पासपोर्ट पर उसी आखने वीज़ा
जी
ठीक है ना
बिल्कुल
पर इत्थे गल मुकनी नहीं है ठीक है ना उन्हें सिर्फ ये असेसमेंट किया है कि ठीक है तुसां इस कैटेगरी विच शामिल हो तो असां कोई इतराज़ ना करने कि तुसां उत्थे जाके अपना केस पेश कर सकने हो ठीक है ना फिर वो बंदा एरोप्लेन पर बैठ कर इधर आ जाना है एयरपोर्ट विच या सी पोर्ट विच उस वक्त बॉर्डर एजेंट्स उत्थे खलते होने यूके बॉर्डर फोर्स उनके आखने तो वो फिर दोबारा एग्जामिनेशन करने ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਪਾਸਪੋਰਟ ਤੱਕਣੇ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਮੋਰ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਤੱਕਣੇ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਨਾ ਕੈਟਾਗਰੀ किस किस्म की कैटेगरी है
सही
जो वीज़ा मौजूद ना हुआ तो फिर ज़ाहिर है कि वो वापस भेज छोड़ पर जो वीज़ा मौजूद है इसका मतलब है कि किसी ऑफिसर जड़ा ब्रिटिश हाई कमीशन विच ब्रिटिश एम्बेसी विच इस केस की प्रोसेस के तहत इजाज़त उन्हें दी है एंट्री क्लियरेंस वास्ते वीज़ा देता है फिर उन्हें की दोबारा असेसमेंट करना है कि इन्हें की इजाज़त देना एंटर इसकी आहे ना लीव टू एंटर एक सी एंट्री क्लियरेंस पहली गल जिसकी इसके आखने वीज़ा तो दूई गल है लीव टू एंटर
ठीक है
कई बंदे की एक गल की एक्सपीरियंस हो सी कि जिला एयरपोर्ट विच पहुंचने तो वो फिर दोबारा पासपोर्ट की नज़र मारने कई बंदे की जड़े रुकावट करने वापस भेज छोड़ने उन्हें की मसलन शक पे जनाया कि इस बंदे ने जड़ी एंट्री क्लियरेंस के मुताबिक इसने नीयत साफ नहीं है या कोई इसने कोई केस विच कोई प्रॉब्लम है तो उन्होंने फिर भी इजाज़त थी है कि बंदे की वापस भेज सकने ठीक है ना ये तो बंदे वास्ते काफ़ी तकलीफ हो सकनी है बंदे ना पैसा नुकसान हो गया क्योंकि उस बंदे ने एरोप्लेन कॉस्ट जेडे लगे न उत्थे आने ते इधर पहुंचने तक उसने बावजूद वापस भेज सकने
सही बिल्कुल
आखिरी जड़ी कैटेगरी जड़ी असा इमिग्रेशन रूल्स की सोचना पैना है कि वो एक्सटेंशन है उन मसलन जिस बंदे की एंट्री क्लियरेंस मिल गई है तो उसकी लीव टू एंटर मिल गई है तो उस वीज़ा पर लिखा हो सी कि केड़े टाइम वास्ते तुसी इत्थे रह सकने हो 6 महीने 12 महीने 2.5 years जिस वक्त वो टाइम ख़त्म होने वाला है ना उस वक्त फिर उस बंदे की सोचना पैना कि मेरी कोई नीयत है इत्थे ज़्यादा टाइम रहने ना या मैं वापस जाना चाहना जिस बंदे ने नीयत है कि मैं इत्थे ज़्यादा टाइम रहना चाहना है फिर उसकी ज़ाहिर है कि एक्सटेंशन चाहिए ठीक है ना फिर उस वक्त उसकी दोबारा इमिग्रेशन रूल्स की सोचना पड़ना है कि मेरी किस सबब पर इत्थे एक्सटेंशन एप्लीकेशन डाल सकां
जी बिल्कुल
ठीक है ना तो हर कैटेगरी विच एंट्री क्लियरेंस लीव टू रिमेन एक्सटेंशन हर बंदे ने अलग अलग सर्कमस्टांसिस उन्होंने सिचुएशन अलग तय असी ये मशवरा देने हैं कि हर बंदे की किसी प्रोफेशनल नाल मशवरा करना चाहिए है तो अपना केस पेश करना है क्योंकि जिस बंदे ना एंट्री विदाउट परमिशन या एक्सटेंशन नहीं मिल गई तो वो इलीगल हो सकने
जी जी बिल्कुल
तो कई बंदे सोच रहे हैं ठीक है असा लीगली ओवरस्टे हो सकने हैं तो कोई फ़र्क नहीं पैना लेकिन असल गल ये है कि जे तुसी ज़्यादा टाइम इत्थे रहो ना
जी जी
ओ तुसा ना इमिग्रेशन हिस्ट्री ते इमिग्रेशन प्रोफाइल पर नुकसान हो सकना है
ठीक
ते जे तुसी दोबारा किसी दूसरी मौजू पर एप्लीकेशन दियो ना ओ फिर उसकी भी कंसिडर करने कि तुसी ओवरस्टे सो लास्ट टाइम
एक्स्ट्रा रह गए
जी ते फिर ओ तुसा ना नेक्स्ट एप्लीकेशन पर मतलब है नुकसान हो सकना है
सही बिल्कुल बिल्कुल अच्छा एक तो टैक्स भी आए ना और मेहरबान खान साहब ने कहा कि शुक्रिया शबीर मुगल साहब मेरे नाम का तस्करा करने का माशाल्लाह इमिग्रेशन के मौजू पर बहुत उम्दा प्रोग्राम है और फैज़ान साजिद कहते हैं कि वेरी यूज़फुल एंड इंफॉर्मेटिव टॉपिक वेल डन ईमान एफएम और वो कहते हैं कि व्हाट अबाउट ईयू नेशनल्स विद न्यू लॉस मेरा ख्याल है ये जो
ओके वो
यूरोपियन यूनियन से लोग जो यहाँ आए हुए हैं तो उनके बारे में क्या आज इस पे बात करें या आइंदा प्रोग्राम में हम इस पे बात करें
बड़ी नीयत सही थे सी कि मतलब इसने बारे में गल करने हैं इसने कैटेगरी में डिस्कस करना चाहना सा क्योंकि जोड़े इमिग्रेशन लॉ है इसने डिफरेंट किस्म ने सोर्सेज हैं
जी जी
पहला सोर्स सी कॉमन लॉ जड़ा जजेस ते कोर्ट्स के मुताबिक इमिग्रेशन लॉ शुरू होया सी उसने तो बाद स्टैट्यूट लॉ आया सी जिसकी अस आखने लेजिस्लेशन
जी जी
पार्लियामेंट विच निकलिया
बिल्कुल
ते उसने तो अलावा इमिग्रेशन रूल्स हैं वो मतलब है स्टैट्यूट लॉ ने जरिए से वो एस्टैब्लिश हुए सन
Right. Okay.
It's not statute law.
Could you explain in English first, and then we can give a brief in our own language.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So, like I was saying, the primary sources of immigration law stemmed from common law, which was custom and case law that was established a long time ago. It was eventually made into statute law, which includes the British Nationality and Status of Aliens Act in 1914.
Yeah.
There was acts that followed that in 1922, 1933, 1943, and also the Immigration Act that I just talked about in 1971. So there's various laws that have come in place. There's an Immigration Act in 2002. These are the main sources of law, but what they didn't do is specify specific rules and regulations about people making applications. They just set out the general parameters. So in most cases, when we're dealing with cases of people coming into the UK for the categories that I've just described, entry, clearance, leave to enter and extensions, we're talking about immigration rules. And those rules are actually set by the Secretary of State. At the moment, the Secretary of State is a lady called Ms. Amber Rudd. And the previous Secretary of State is our current Prime Minister, Theresa May. She was the previous Home Secretary, and she, in fact, made significant changes to the institutions of the Home Office. Namely, she established the UK Visas and Immigration Division of the Home Office in 2013. It was previously known as the UK Border Agency. Right, so the immigration rules that are important in making applications for leave to enter or leave to remain are the main concerns of anybody putting an application in.
True.
The last category is what your caller has pointed out, is the European law.
Yeah, European Union.
Yeah. Now, obviously, because the United Kingdom was part of the European Union, they signed up to the free movement of people and goods, which is known as the Citizen Directive. That was then implemented into UK law by the Immigration European Economic Area Regulation in 2006. So that provided additional benefits to people who are European nationals coming into the UK, and in many situations, it actually made it a lot easier. It made it a lot easier for people in the UK, people from the European Union coming into the UK.
Right, okay. Shahid, we got a caller online, so he'd like to ask a question. Assalamu alaikum.
वालेकुम सलाम
जी कौन साहब
शायद साहब के सलाम वासिफ बात कर रहा हूं जी डारन से
जी वासिफ जी आप पूछिए कौन सा सवाल पूछना चाहते हैं
जी पता नहीं ना सवाल पूछना था मुझे नहीं पता इस रिलेटेड है आज के टॉपिक से या नहीं है
जी आप बताएं
इट्स रिलेटेड टू इमिग्रेशन आई हैड अ इशू विद TOEIC related case now victim of TOEIC case I just want to ask some question about TOEIC cases
okay
so लगता है मुझे पहले मैं सारी ना सर्कमस्टेंसेस बता दूं पहले हुआ क्या था या किस तरह था तो उसका इजी हो जाएगा जवाब देने के लिए
थोड़ा सा ब्रीफ बात कर लें जो जी
मैं आया था I came here as a student visa in 2010 and I did TOEIC on 2011 and I got married in 2012 and after that I used TOEIC in my spouse visa and I've got spouse visa for 2 years and then apply for the leave to remain and they rejected for the TOEIC issue. They said you did fraud in this TOEIC English related to English course or English test. Then I took him to the court and the first tribunal won the case and after that they applied for the thing. They appeal against my decision and I'm still waiting for the decision what they're gonna do the next thing. So they take him into the upper tribunal. So just asking the question that so have you got any idea about this related to cases what's going on and what's
well sure. you've made a general description there of your case. I can't be specific about something that I haven't read. I'm not entirely certain as to the reason why they've raised their objection and why you've gone to an appeal. So I couldn't really comment.
They reject my visa for the toy case. Everything on that, they said you point on this life man is they spot on. But they reject my visa. They said you involved in the toy related case, toy fraud in 2011, and you
right. So it's an issue. Visa, yeah. It's an issue of fraud, right? That they're accusing you of. This goes back to a panorama program.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
That was basically looking at people taking the English language tests, and some of the centres were implicated in using people to produce the results fraudulently, and those were used by people to put in immigration applications. Now the Home Office has general rules about employing deception in applications.
Yeah.
So,
but they failed to prove they failed to prove all this.
Okay, so if you let me finish the point, if they're making the accusation that you've employed deception, then the onus would be on you to try to redress that allegation. So, given that you've gone to an appeal, I'm assuming you've used legal professionals in representing you.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
In which case, you would need to work with them closely to put forward your account and the basis on which you're refuting that allegation. And that would be the way that you would need to proceed with that.
So, that's the thing, I've won the case in first tribunal. They're still not taking me to the next court now. So that's why I've been going to. So
well, just as you've said that you've won at the first stage, are you saying they've appealed it?
They appealed it against me now, yeah.
Okay, so then you'd need to work closely with your legal representatives to ensure that everything is in place with respect to your account and your evidence in order to put forward your position as strongly as possible.
That's I think.
I mean, there's a lot of people that have fallen into this category. A lot of people sat these tests, and this all stemmed from an investigation by the BBC into these centres that were giving people these qualifications, and the BBC uncovered as part of the investigation that people were sitting tests for individuals in their reading and speaking, and it wasn't the actual person that had paid the fees to do the test.
Oh, right, okay.
So they were just so that everybody understands who's listening, they were putting people into the position of sitting a test when they weren't the actual applicant. And the results of the test were then used by those individuals as part of their immigration application. Once the BBC uncovered that, it then shed doubt over certain groups of people, and they didn't necessarily make they didn't differentiate between people who had genuinely passed the test and people who were actually involved in using other people to sit their tests. So they scooped everybody up.
So people who have generally passed, they also actually
it seems that many of them have been caught up in that. And they have got a completely different account to the accusation being put to them, and therefore they need to put forward a strong case to argue that.
Okay, I think you got the answer.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that.
Some people have been successful. We've dealt with cases like that, and some people have been successful in challenging that. And I think there is certainly scope to challenge that, and people have been successful in that regard. So I would hope that you be optimistic in what you're fighting for.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the call, and I hope your case will be genuine and you will be winning at the end, inshallah. Right, okay. this is obviously it's an important call, and there are many people actually who was genuine, but they also consider in this line because of the BBC undercover report. Anyway, so we was talking about European Union.
Yeah, the question was about
national, European Union national
the European law, and everybody will be aware from watching the news that the UK has voted to leave the EU.
Yeah.
And as I said before, we had the call that the Citizen Directive was incorporated into UK law by the Immigration Regulations Act in 2006.
Yeah.
It meant that there was free movement of people between European countries that were part of the European Economic Area, free movement of goods, services and people. And as I was saying before the call, that in some cases this avenue has lower requirements to meet than say English law. So a person applying to sponsor a spouse as a British national would be required to meet considerable different requirements in order to bring that person over. In particular, the financial requirements of £18,600.
Yeah.
A person who is a European economic area citizen who's come into the UK is automatically exempt from having to fulfill the same requirement.
Is it? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of people would see that as unfair, and obviously it's caused a lot of upset in people's personal lives, that on the one hand a British citizen has to meet so many requirements in order to sponsor someone. Say if you're a British national, you want to bring over your spouse from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh or wherever, you've got to meet all these requirements.
Yeah.
But if you're a European national and you've come over to the UK, you automatically are allowed to bring that person without meeting the same financial requirements that a British national has to meet.
Right.
Now, that's just one area that the EU law impacts quite significantly on people's lives. There are other areas, including employment issues, and I wanted to move on to talk about the idea that immigration law.
We got only 1 minute.
Okay.
Left, so
well, I just want to summarize and make everybody realize that immigration law is fast changing, and it's not just people that are applying for personal visas and stuff that are affected by immigration law. The new relatively recently points-based system means that people who are employers or people who are running educational institutes, all that kind of stuff, there is a big responsibility on them as well as private individuals to understand and appreciate immigration law, because there's obligations placed on them, and if those obligations aren't met, it can lead to repercussions. So immigration law affects everybody in society, almost everybody, and it's a really important topic to pay attention to, and it's also a very interesting topic.
It is very interesting, and this will be continue next week, inshallah, at 4 o'clock. And Shahid Hussain, solicitor from Khan Solicitors, will be coming again and give you more information about immigration. And keep listening Iman FM and Iman Radio and Iman TV online. Thank you, Shahid, for coming.
Thank you for having
from
me.
Bradford and giving some information to our listeners. Thank you very much. सामीन इसी के साथ हम इजाज़त चाहते हैं. आप सबका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. जो सुन रहे थे, जिन्होंने सवाल पूछे, जो देख रहे थे, उन सब का शुक्रिया. अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू.
Sheffield, Rotherham, across South Yorkshire. This is Iman FM on 103.1